Welcome to the Retail Hack Podcast. My name is Darius Wasafi, and today I am speaking with Kumar Senthil, founder and CEO of a company called Firmly. Hi, Kumar.
Nice to meet you, Darius,
Likewise.
and thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me on the podcast. Let's start with a brief introduction about yourself, your background, and how did you come to start Firmly?
Sure, definitely. Before starting Firmly, I used to manage the Samsung.com, and one of the common challenges I was running into was a lot of partners would come and pitch to me saying, "Hey, Kumar, I can help sell your products in different places." But then the moment I ask, "Okay, great, what do I have to do for that?" They'll say, "Oh, please come integrate with me." And I was like, how many integrations can I do? I did my fair share of integrations. And I realized, man, this endless integrations is a non-starter. And more importantly, I can do the integration, but then I don't know whether the ROI is there or not, right? So I put a bunch of people work there for a few months and get this integration up and running, and I get one or two orders, and then that's it. That means,
Mm.
it's really, it becomes a painful situation internally. And people question saying, okay, Kumar, you asked me to integrate with this partner, but guess what happened, right? So then next time I ask the team, they look at me and saying, are you really sure this is going to work? So I've been going through this motion and I said, man, I really wanted to try new things, but at the same time, this tax of integration and maintaining is becoming untenable as a merchant. But then I also thought, it's not going to be a Samsung problem, it's going to be a global problem. Every merchant is going to go through the same situation. How do we solve it globally for all merchants? That's how I start thinking. But then I said, okay, being in Samsung, I don't think I can solve this problem. So why don't I just start my own? And I left Samsung to start this. And it's been a fun journey. It's just riddled with just just challenges, to simply
Yeah.
put it. Because I was trying to create a two-sided marketplace, right? One side I needed merchants, the other side I needed platforms or destinations, and we were way ahead of its time because when I pitched this to the merchants, they just didn't understand why would you ever need this type of tech, right? And
Hmm.
that it required a lot of evangelizing the market and merchants as well as the destinations to saying that, okay, you really need some sort of a tech which connects to multiple destinations to multiple merchants. Because even
Hmm.
if you are a destination, you want to enable native shopping, you won't be able to go merchant by merchant and integrate. And as a merchant, you want to go sell in 10 different channels. You don't want to go out and integrate one by one. But
Hmm.
but I needed to bootstrap somewhere. So fortunately, we had a partnership. I cannot share the name of the company, but it was one of the largest social platforms. We had an opportunity to partner with them, and they recruited merchants for us.
Oh, that's great.
About 50 merchants they recruited, large merchants that actually bootstrapped things for us, right? And then that gave us at least some sort of a merchants pool to start, talking to partners and say, hey, I have this pool of merchants we can enable. And that brought interest from different partners. So then we started, building the company from there. And so now we're in a growth stage. A lot more merchants are there, a lot more partners are there. So we believe
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, yeah, definitely starting a company is a brand new, it's like having children. It sounds good until you have one, and then you really understand what it is.
That is
And
true.
I know a lot of people that have been in startups and have been even number three or four. It's completely different than being number one, where all the weight of the world is on your shoulders.
Absolutely.
It's a different experience. I know exactly. I mean, I've lived that life myself for many years, and even with the marketplace, currently I do understand, and we're building probably like a three-sided marketplace, which is
Wow.
like unbelievable. So we went from being B2B
Hmm.
to changing to B2C, and that became a part of our business. And now we have B2B as well, but like marketplace is probably one of the hardest things businesses you can build.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that is.
So now the main point of this integrations, of course, like Zapier, I think, probably popularized the idea of easily integrating with different products as far as like even functionality and productivity software, all kinds of things. And it just makes sense to have the same for commerce. So I
Yeah.
think it's a really interesting idea. Of course, now everybody's talking about agentic, right? And AI and how AI has changed the business and will continue to change the business. So I want to dive in a little bit more about that side of your business and get your thoughts on how AI is actually changing your business and your customers' lives.
Absolutely. So AI, when we started the company, uh, especially when we were onboarding these merchants, these 50 merchants, it would take anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks of integration work. Even when we say integration work, the key North Star we had, two North Stars we had, not one, two. The number one North Star is merchant should not be writing a single line of code, zero change for the merchant, right? Because if we ask the merchant to make any code change, means our mission is failed. So that's a
Mhm.
very high bar we set up, saying we cannot ask the merchant to make any code change. Whatever the website they have, they should continue to operate as is. And the second North Star is merchant has to be remain the merchant of record. Okay, so these are the two primary, clear goals we had. Whatever solutions we build, it should meet those two things.
And that, if we can just dive in a little bit more, merchant of record specifically means that transactions are handled on their platform, the
By the
catalog,
merchant.
everything stays on their platform.
Exactly.
Okay.
Everything. And then when we do that, we are also not doing browser automation. Okay. So because people immediately agentic commerce means immediately they think, oh, it's browser automation. We don't. And we clearly knew from day one this browser automation is not going to work because it just breaks the whole commerce flow from natural experience. So it's just not going to work. And it has so many drawbacks, it's for another day. But that being said, it used to take about 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, because an engineer has to go understand how a website works, identify the right APIs and whatnot, and then integrate with the merchant. Now, uh, later, because we built a library of merchants integrations, hundreds of merchants integrated. Now we could use that infrastructure to train AI to go and do autonomously integrate without a human in the loop. So AI
Okay.
is able to do the integration for us now because we have that infrastructure in place. If for somebody brand new starting today, you have to have that type of a solution in place to, solve this problem. And also there's sort of a lot of know-how has to be needed to do it. So that's what we did, and we built that last 5 years. That basically research ended up leading us to this point where we're able to automate end to end. So now, if you give a merchant, it takes few hours, even few minutes to few hours, depending on what the merchant infrastructure is. to be able to integrate and bring their catalog. And a lot of times, most of the merchants don't have a proper catalog in place. So what we do is we take that catalog, pull data from different sources, synthesize it, normalize, and then we push it to different destinations. That's a very big value add for a merchant because for them to do themselves, it's an expensive affair. So we automated significantly that part.
Can you explain a little bit more what you mean by most merchants don't have the proper catalog?
So if you take, for example, what the data needs are for OpenAI in their product catalog feed, that all the data elements that the LLM, because they are asking this data for a reason, because LLMs need that data to better serve the user query, right? So because the customers when coming up with a specific intent, for example, I may go to a ChatGPT or Gemini and say, I'm looking for a pen. Okay, I'm picking a random example that has 5+ raw star reviews for me. Okay, so which means now the reviews information has to be there in the LLM for the LLM to respond, saying, okay, here are the 5-star rating pens are here. Then I can choose if I want to buy or not to buy. That's second. But the discovery itself will fail if the rating and review information is not pumped into the LLM. That is where we come in. This is just one piece of information. Like that, there's different pieces of information that a merchant has. They don't have it in one system. They all come from disparate systems. We pull all of that together, normalize it, and then we pump it into the destinations. And each destination may require it in different formats, in different ways. All of that we handle it.
Now, when you do this automation, integration automation, are you focusing on specific platforms? Like once you get Shopify, for example, set up, then all the Shopify merchants would easily be added. Or if you do BigCommerce or Oracle or Salesforce, or is that how
Yeah, great
you're
question. So we're platform agnostic. So wherever the merchant may be, we can work with any merchant. We're not tied to any specific platform. We can work with any merchant. That's our foundational aspect because our tech is not location specific or platform specific. So
okay?
therefore, we can work with any merchant. That's the beauty of our platform.
So even a custom built
Yes,
commerce
yeah,
would be
that's our
not a
sweet spot.
problem?
That's our sweet spot. But even if you are a standard platform, we can support that as well. So we make it easy for the merchant. The solution is the same, zero change for merchant. We ask the
Okay.
merchant to do only two things. Okay. Number one, we ask the merchant to sign our merchant agreement. Okay, so that is justly a paperwork to say that, okay, I authorize Firmly to access my catalog, access my website legally. Without that, we don't do willy-nilly things. We want merchant to explicitly accept our agreement so that we have a permission from the merchant. If the merchant doesn't want to give permission, then we don't do business with them, right? So we don't.
Right.
The second thing is this is not a requirement for all merchants, but for some merchant, we need them to whitelist us. So once they do whitelist us, then we're good to go. Then they're off to the races. They can just sit back and relax. And then we just recently launched a platform called Firmly Connect. In that, what we provide is a menu of options. Like, you go to an app store in the phone or a Play Store in your Android or iOS phone. You can choose the apps that you want to install in your phone. The same way, we are providing an option where you can choose which destination you want to sell to. Okay, there's this catalog of options we provide for the merchant so that they can say, yeah, I want this, I want this, I want this. Great. We enable all of that. Literally no code needed, zero coding needed.
Okay. Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
Yes, like a la carte menu.
yeah. And that's where we make it easy for merchants. And so already we have about 10, 15 destinations ready to go. So there, it makes it very attractive for merchants.
Um, so by destinations, you mean AI
ChatGPT,
agents.
it could be AI agents, it could be publishers. The beauty is we're not just tied to only LLMs, right? So it could be publishers like uh, USA Today or Condé Nast or
Hmm.
Hearst Media or Zip Davis. It could be anybody. We
Okay.
enable native shopping for them. That's one type of use case, or it could be CTV, or it could be, what else? Marketplaces like furniture.com is a marketplace we partner with. It's a vertical marketplace just focused on furnitures. We onboard, 4 to 5 merchants a week into that platform, so that they built a very robust uh, furniture marketplace. You can go play with that, and furniture.com it's a very nice furniture shopping marketplace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So w- just to understand the architecture and where Firmly sits in the stack for a merchant,
Hmm.
they still have their e-commerce platform. That doesn't change.
Yep.
They have their marketing stack. Everything is the same. Nothing
Yep.
changes.
Yep.
They make this connection, or you
They don't
enable
make,
a
I make the
connection. You
connection.
make
I
the
make it.
connection, right?
Yep.
Is there like an endpoint, a series of endpoints that they have to give access to, or you give them access to, somehow
They don't
making that
have, they
connection?
just whitelist my IP.
Okay,
That's it, right? So that
okay,
I can access their catalog, I can access other endpoints that are publicly visible, and that's it. They don't have to do anything.
okay,
We handle all the complexities,
okay.
and then we expose a UCP endpoint or a ACP endpoint that's needed for the merchant. Or if a partner of ours want to talk to us in MCP protocol, we have a global MCP endpoint, which you can talk to any of our merchants. Or we also have a standard API, one set of APIs we have, which has more capabilities than other protocols as well. So that if a partner wants to use our API, they are welcome to use that as well. So that it gives a lot more capabilities. For example, furniture business is the most complex vertical you can think of in retail. So where it requires delivery scheduling, haul away or white glove service and so on. There's so much complexity involved. All of that is handled in our simple APIs. So it's a standardized API, so that our partners can, once they do integration, they can connect to pretty much all of our merchants.
So it seems like you invested a good amount of time and resources to build out the
Abs-
furniture
Absolutely.
vertical.
Yeah.
Do you have to do
Furniture
that?
vertical is a basically we provide the plumbing, but our partner, furniture.com, they're on their
Right.
business, right? So they're on the business, they do the marketing, whatnot.
Yeah, that plumbing side
Yeah,
is
yeah,
key, and that's
yes,
where, okay.
yeah,
That's why it's easy for the merchants, is you've done all the hard work.
yes, exactly, exactly.
So, okay, now what about other verticals, other product categories? Do you have to do the same for, like, say, jewelry or apparel or
I mean, jewelry and apparel are pretty straightforward. That's a standard. bread and butter for us, because that's going to spread across different partners, whether they're publishers or they're LLMs or they're somebody else. They will all use our APIs for other verticals. And also one interesting fact that actually we've been evangelizing a lot of these destinations to not be a merchant of record, because early on, before we came into existence, Firmly came into existence, if anybody wanted to build a native shopping experience, the only way to do that is to be the merchant of record, and also they have to build some sort of a store sync, right? Where all the partners, merchants have to come and publish their catalog into that store sync and also keep that store in sync with their website or their inventory, price, promotion, whatnot. That's how the industry was functioning in the past. But then after we came and we solved that problem for the platforms, saying, listen, you don't have to be the merchant of record. Let the merchant be the merchant of record. That's one evangelize we did. And because it was a little bit of an alien topic for them to initially understand. But later they understood the key benefit. The key benefit is it saves you anywhere between 6 to 8% of GMV. Why? Because you don't incur credit card fees. It's anywhere between 2.5 to 3%. You have fraud fees, about 1%. And then you have tax calculation, another half a percent. And there's so many other customer support and returns, refunds, and so on, so many things going on. All of that cost is now becomes zero. Okay, because if
Okay.
you use my pipe, it goes directly to the merchant and the order gets dropped into the merchant, and merchant has all that infrastructure in place. That is built into their model. So that way that they get the order and they handle all of that. So as a destination, you don't have to incur all of that 6 to 8% cost by using MakePipe, right? So that's a big savings for that. So furniture.com, initially we were planning to go as a merchant of record. After they came to us, they realized, oh, that's a big savings for us. We don't have to incur that cost. I mean, obviously they have different costs, but that anyway they will incur, whether they are a merchant of record or not, but they have different costs. But this is a savings they got out of this, so which is a happy customer for us. They're using it, and the orders are flowing every day, and it's working well.
So right now, when a customer goes to furniture.com, places an order,
Mhm.
that payment is not actually taken by furniture.com. It's passed through to whoever
The merchant is.
the merchant is.
Yep.
But the furniture.com still is, from the point of view of the customer, is the seller.
They saw the transaction happening in furniture.com,
Right.
but clearly the messaging in furniture.com will clearly say that you are buying from One Kings Lane, or you're buying from TOE Furniture, or you're buying from whatever that merchant is, and you will immediately get an order confirmation email from the merchant
Right.
saying, thank you, Darius, for the order. Here is the order confirmation number, and whatever the next steps are. From that point on, you become customer of that merchant.
Okay.
Yeah,
So customer service, warranty, all of that is handled by the merchant.
merchant immediately.
Um, all right. So that, I mean, those are some really important things, and where you have to spend money to take
And
care of them.
manage all of that. So that is where it is made very smooth. And the merchants are already set up to handle all of that.
Okay.
And they like the customer support to be rendered to their customers. rather than
Okay.
somebody else disintermediating and handling it, which means they lose that touch with the customer.
Right.
We're enabling is making sure merchants are in the control in end to end.
So in some form of like a classic definition, furniture.com is more like a lead generation system for merchants, not an actual marketplace. Because
So
typically a
I would
marketplace would
say, because we
process.
don't have a term yet, I would say this is like a order generation platform,
Okay,
right? It's
okay.
not a lead generation because this is generating orders for you.
You're right. It is actually generating, and that's what ChatGPT wanted to do,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
they decided to go back on that.
No,
Now
there,
let's talk about that a little bit.
yeah,
What
sure.
this?
I mean, based on what I heard when they were in Shop Talk, when they made the presentation, uh, because some publishing houses make some sensational stories, which may not be the truth actually, because OpenAI seems to be continuing to pursue the shopping experience, and but they're going through an evolution process of making it as a scalable solution. That's my takeaway from that conversation I had as well, is that they are pursuing it. And the idea there looks like the way they are pursuing is actually have this shopping experience natively. You go search for a product, ChatGPT would render natively the response results saying, okay, you're looking for a watch. It's going to show you the results for whatever based on your criteria. It's going to show the results for the watch. Now, if you want to buy that, that is where I think they're going through different approaches to say, okay, if you're buying it from a specific merchant, then the merchant's app would automatically get launched. And now you would check out from the merchant's app, but it will natively be within the ChatGPT experience. Right. So, I mean,
Hmm.
that's again, I'm hypothesizing it based on my
Yeah,
understanding. It is still
yeah.
evolving. How it will eventually end result would show. We have to see that. But if it goes in that route, what we will be offering for our merchants is that app experience will be branded for our merchant. We will provide
Okay,
that. Okay,
okay,
so that they don't have to do any engineering work. Our
okay,
value prop is very simple. No matter what the destinations adopt, we will be able to absorb that shock and give you a good experience for your
okay.
customers. And then eventually, no code is needed. That's how our thought process is. That's how we're thinking.
Right now, do you know of any LLMs that actually enable end-to-end transactions?
I mean, they're both ChatGPT and Gemini has enabled one or two merchants, but just to as a POC, initial POC. But the robust build out, I think, is going to start rolling out in coming weeks and months. So we're just eagerly waiting. Our merchants are ready to go as well. So I don't want to quote time for their time. But, yeah,
Right.
but our understanding is coming weeks and months, they're going to start rolling out and we will be able to enable our merchants.
What does the term agentic mean to you functionally?
Okay,
That's a
agentic,
trick question.
that is trick question for sure. I'll explain in two parts. One is, you ask a simple text query rather than a specific keyword search. See, in the past, it was always a keyword search, right? A Nike shoe or running shoe, or I'm looking for a dress, blue dress or a green dress, whatever. We were trained to search those type of keywords. Now the LLMs are giving us an option to be more descriptive on the search, saying, hey, I'm planning for a marathon. I'm looking for running shoes. What would you recommend? Or I'm going for a hike to Mount Rainier. I need some equipment for that, whatever that may be. So that's a specific, you're giving more detail, your intent with the use case tied to it. Then the system goes and finds a product, and now you want to purchase, you're making a purchase right there, right? There's no redirects, nothing. They're buying it right there. So that's one side of the story. The other one is what I call as an utopian story, where agent autonomously going and buying things for you. Okay, so that I still don't feel is in more realistic in a lot of context, other than two primary plausible use cases I could think of. Okay, so one use case is I'm planning to buy a TV for my living room. I want this specific TV, and buy it for me if the price drops below X. Okay, I know what
Okay.
I want to buy. I'm very clear on what I want to buy. I just want you to monitor and buy this for me. The price is the only factor is unknown. If it drops below this, buy it. Okay. So those type of constraints I can put to an agent. Now the agent can monitor this product on regularly checking the price and whatnot. And if the price drops below that amount, whatever the customer has given as an intent, then an agent can go buy that. That's one use case. The second use case could be I have a regular grocery list that I want to buy. Okay, this is almost like a subscription, right?
Yeah.
So I want a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread and some fruits and vegetables. Just get it delivered to me. So those are the two plausible use cases I could think of. I don't think you would ever tell an agent saying, okay, order a jewelry for my wife and have it delivered.
And expect to be married.
Yeah, exactly.
Expect to remain married.
Exactly. Maybe if you don't want to be married, perhaps you could
And
do that.
not sleep on the couch for a week or
Exactly.
something.
Sleep in the doghouse, right? So I don't see that happening. And also keep in mind, people take some joy in shopping. So I don't think you could just take it away by saying, okay, agent, go do the shopping for me. I don't see that as a plausible use case. However, what I do see plausible and I do see things more realistically happening is the discovery time it takes to discover a product has shrunk. Okay. Earlier it used to you go to search, keyword search, and you go through 10 different sites to find a product, and then if lucky, you may end up buying it. A lot of times you may lose the intent to buy because the time you took to try to find a product and you really didn't end up finding the product, or the experience was so bad that you just left it and you're gone. Now if you shrunk that discovery time, saying, okay, I'm looking for something specific, and the LLM was able to smart enough to go find that specific product, give few options, not 1,000 options, 5 or 10 different product options. Yeah, okay, I can look at that. Okay, I like this, maybe different color or different design or whatnot. And then once you choose a product, you really want to know inventory and the price, real time, not cached data 2 days ago, 3 days ago data. Because when you try to buy, then the size 7 you're looking for, it's not available. It's frustrating to go on and you try to place the order. You want to know at that moment of finalizing the research, is this available with this merchant? Right?
Yeah.
That's where Firmly comes in and gives you real-time inventory and price,
Okay.
okay, to make that decision.
Hmm. Yeah, so I think I totally agree with from my point of view with um your thought on it being case by case. Agentic across the board as a like an overall umbrella that covers everything is definitely not gonna take wings in any at least future that we can envision.
Yeah,
But in case by case, definitely can help. And I mean that whole idea of an agent. Agent is could be like what we used to have as a personal shopper, right?
yeah,
Personal shopper is an agent.
yeah,
Somebody said, you know what, I want to change my wardrobe, and he would ask them all the questions to
yeah,
determine what kind of products. So that's all the really the agent is the replacing a personal shopper.
yeah. That
And
that is an
yeah,
area really agentic commerce can do a lot. Because I was playing with this app called Glance today, and they have built a very nice user experience, what they call as a try-on feature. So it asks you to take a simple selfie, and then gives a great variety of options in terms of sunglasses, in terms of dress and whatnot. That's something you would serendipitously identify. Oh, you never went to buy that product, but when you see that with you wearing that dress, and it would look how nice it looks, and it says, "Oh, I want this now," right? And then you may end up buying it. So that's
yeah,
that's where the agentic commerce is going to evolve to more, you know.
to give you ideas,
Yep,
things you didn't know.
yep,
I mean, there are so many use cases, and it could be even. I mean, that's the wonder and complexity of shopping.
yep,
Is in the morning, I may want to just do chat. At
yeah,
noon, I may be okay with the video, live video somewhere. In the evening, it's different. On the weekend, it's different. It's like it's all over the place, and you can have agents for each one of these specific areas. And for example, I want to buy a gas range for my kitchen right now. What's
yeah,
the latest technology? Who has the best product? Take all of that research away from me and show me the products and show me what I can purchase. And if you do a good job, maybe next time I will let you buy it without even me. I mean that's the other thing is like a personal shopper, if they do a good job, you trust them. So
yeah,
trust could be something that could be built up in an agent, AI agent.
yeah. That's going to take a while for somebody to
Yeah.
give up that to
The
some
control, the final
control,
decision
right?
making, the agency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's going to take some time, but definitely, I'll give you a real example. My wife was trying to buy a dishwasher, and she spent at least 4 hours researching, right? And getting frustrated. That is a real place where an AI will help solve that problem of identifying and bringing the right narrative on saying why this product is better for compared to the other one, all the comparison and all that. And that is where if the merchants are not present in by providing participating in that, you will be left out, right? So
Yeah.
so you need to be present in those moments, and to be present means you have to do all the plumbing, and that's
Right.
where we come and so don't worry about the plumbing, we'll take care of it, we'll make it happen for you.
So what's next for Firmly?
Oh, there's a massive roadmap for us. So we're actually building a lot of partnerships across the spectrum, and make this a reality. Agentic commerce making a reality. It's still in a theory stage, right? To make it a
Okay.
reality is
Yeah.
the first summit we will reach, because we are at the base camp, where we are equipped now. We have an agent that can go and integrate with the merchant. So that's the base camp of,
Right.
right? Now we are fully geared up. We're going to get to the next summit of making all this ecosystem work in a harmonious way. And there are still a lot of unknowns in terms of how this fraud systems are going to get the signal. That's an open issue. There is some sort of a model has to be identified, meaning how do we pipe this data? What type? It may not be the same signal the fraud systems are receiving today. May not be the same. There may be different type of signals has to be sent. All of that has to be figured out. There's still long way to go on that.
Now, what is I guess the revenue model? How do the customers get charged?
The shop customer who's shopping, they pay the regular price. There is no change for them as a consumer.
The
But
merchants, I mean,
yeah, the
how Firmly
merchants,
makes, right.
yeah. So we're still evolving on that. That's an area that's been evolving. Different models have been discussed. Nothing has been set in stone yet, but we try to make it simpler for the merchants.
What are the
So
most common ones? Like what other companies or tools are using is like a percentage is pretty common.
yeah, but right now we're not doing a percentage for LLMs. So we're still, I mean, it's a very early stage. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I don't want to get any like confidential information. I'm just trying to understand how
Still,
the,
still it is being worked on.
okay,
It's not a public information I can
okay,
share.
okay. All right. So if somebody
But the
goes,
beauty is something I can say about it. By working with us, you will save money than what you would otherwise. That,
okay,
that is something I can tell.
okay,
Because it costs, if you were to go and do an integration with each of these LLMs, each one would be a bespoke integration you're doing, and that would cost at least $500,000 for a large
okay,
merchant, right?
okay,
We're going to be significantly
okay.
less compared to that amount of cost there.
Is there a specific merchant size that you're looking for or you're working with right now as far as
Yeah, that's a
dollar
great
volume
question.
or yeah.
That's a great question. I mean, we don't discriminate merchants. We
Okay.
love all of them.
Okay. Good. Good.
But our sweet spot is, obviously larger merchants and mid-size, but doesn't matter. We want to help everyone.
Okay.
So we don't discriminate. We're
So
happy.
you will actually spend time with a small merchant to
Yeah,
see if you can
because
help them.
because it's easy for us to do it.
Okay.
You come to Firmly.ai and you go Firmly Connect, you sign up.
Okay.
It's a self-service for most part, right? And then once you sign up, you have a menu option where you want to sell your product, you want to sell your entire catalog, partial catalog. All those decisions are self-sign up. Once
Okay.
you do that and you sign our merchant agreement, then you're off to the races.
Okay. That was, yeah, you answered my next question is the process is if somebody wants to check this out, they go to firmly.ai, go
Yep,
to the
yep,
connect, sign up and go through that process.
yep. It's very simple. It'll take probably 10 minutes of your time.
Okay.
That's it. And then you're ready to rock and roll.
That's very interesting. Okay. Um, now what's the as a founder and CEO of a company that is just getting things going and getting into the growth stage, what is the biggest challenge? What keeps you up at night most these days?
That's a great question. I mean, in the last 5 years, every day it's a different set of challenges, right? Early on, the market was not ready for our product. So it was such a deep struggle to get the market ready for it. So we had to do so much evangelizing to convince people this is great. This is going to help create a good shopping experience instead of blind redirects. Wherever the product is identified by the customer, let them transact, right? So that they should be able
Mhm.
to buy that. So that evangelizing took a while for people to grasp, and then 2 3 years it took. But while we were doing that, we were building the product as well. And there is so much, we 99.9% of the time we'll get a no, and then there will be 0.1% of the time we'll get a yes. That yes actually leads to something bigger, and then eventually, we were able to turn the tide to saying, okay, yes, this is actually, I don't know why nobody did it until now. That's the point I hear now. I wonder why nobody did this. Of course.
Well, I told you 100 times before now, this is makes sense, and you said no, and suddenly now you're telling me that.
Exactly. Right. So we went through
Human.
that. Now I don't have to tell that story anymore.
Right.
People get it, saying, yeah. Now the question is, okay, how do I make it happen? So to do that extent, when I say, by the way, you don't have to write any code, I'll enable it. And it says, no way, I don't believe you. How do you do that? And it says, okay, allow me to prove. Okay, you don't have to do anything, just sit and watch. I'll show you. Then we
Yeah.
just do the integration and we show them and says, oh, this is great. You already integrated. Perfect. Okay, now what do I have to do? It says, okay, sign the agreement and we move on. So, so that
Yeah.
it's been it's quite a journey.
Okay. All right. So right now, like, are you? I'm sure you're building your team out. What are some of the key roles that you're looking for?
That's a great question. So right now, I think I have more people than I need
Okay.
because the I mean they're all busy right now, but I don't think I need a lot of people right now at this moment
Okay.
because of all the enhanced improvements that has come in AI. We are able to achieve things with the tools that available for our employees, that they're able to produce more than what they would used to produce before.
Okay. Okay. Do you
So
have the typical sales motion that all the other B2B, or is it like product-led growth, or is it you actually have SDRs and teams that do that kind of work?
yeah, great question. So what we are looking at is as a partnership-led growth, than
Okay.
just a two front. One is product-led growth, and the other one is partnership-led growth. So product-led growth is more organic, word of mouth. Customers see our product and they hear about us, and they come sign up and they get the benefit. So that's one side. And then there's a partnership side. We focus primarily on partnerships. On the PSP side, we've been working on many partnerships. We're going to be announcing some of them in the coming weeks and months. There's
Okay.
a bunch of large partnerships that we're working on. So they would recruit the merchants for us, right? So there's a lot of motion in play. And then obviously the destinations also, there's a lot of them in motion as well. And as both sides power up, that will lead to significant growth.
Okay.
That's how we're.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, Kumar, it's been really fascinating speaking with you and learning about what you're working on with Firmly.
Oh, thank you, Darius. It was enjoy the conversation.
Likewise, all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.